Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we got over here. We're just going to promote this. We're going to promote this because I'm live. I'm live, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and we are going to promote it. So, let's see what we got over here. So, got this. Copy. We have one person watching so far. Well, hang on. I'm going to share it out. Post that. 4 people watching. Wow, that was quick. Okay, I can dig it. Nathan the Great, how are you, my friend? Hang on, I'm live on YouTube right now. We got 6 people watching. 6 people. So let me paste this. 8 people. Please make yourself known. Hey, Woos! Wesley Landon Woosley, how are you? When you come in, you gotta hit that thumbs up. Be sure to hit that thumbs up when you come in. So, let me just, there we go. So I'm gonna be able to check the chat a little bit later. I'm gonna be able to check the chat a little bit later. Yeah, when you come in, there you go. It's almost done, almost done. How are you? You here for the beer? Well, ain't no beer over here. Ain't no beer over here. But I got a nice tall glass of ice water right here. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Jessica, how are you? So, I'm almost done here. Just sharing it out a little bit more. Where is it? There we go. Come on, come on. Okay. Sharing it out just a little bit more. Please, if you can, I need you guys to share it out. I need you guys to share it out because I'm trying to expand. Hey, Alan Holland. Oh my God, where have you been? Where have you been, brother? I've been waiting. I've been waiting for somebody like you. Been waiting for you for a long time. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. We got a lot to talk about here this week in wrestling here on the LFU. Well, first things first, this is going to be the new format here. The new format I got going on over here is it's going to be live on Saturdays. Every single Saturday live for the LFU. Every single Saturday it's going to be live. So that's the new format we got going on. And then my pay-per-view rundowns and my rewinds, they're going to be premieres. Oh my God, Danielle, I knew that you would come in clutch with the share. I knew you'd come in clutch with the share because you are undoubtedly the best supporter that I got right now. I know that may make a lot of people jealous, but then again, you've been loyal. You've been very loyal. You've been very supportive. So I'm going to give you the honor of being the #1 fan of the week. Actually, no, not of the week, of the month. There you go. There we go over here. Let me retweet your share. Come on. I know. Why can't I find your account for some reason? Here you go. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the share. I'm gonna see if we can get at least 10 people in here at once. I mean, I got goals I want to reach. I really do. Let me. There you go. Paste. I'm just sending it to a couple more people. I want to get some more people in here. Okay. Where's TM? Where's TM been? I'm going to have to get him back on the channel. I'm going to have to get TM back on the channel. Don't worry. We're going to start in just a minute. We got a lot to talk about here in the realm of professional wrestling. I got my DIY shirt on, if you can see. I got Clash of Champions from 2017 playing in the background. Okay. Live on YouTube. 6 people watching so far. Okay, let's go. There we go. Woo! Chat is alive. Business is booming. Not the Hurt Business, no, because that name's terrible. Even though the Hurt Business are actually being booked somewhat decently. So, why don't we get started here? Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms here. Welcome back to the channel here on YouTube.com. It is, of course, Saturday, September 19th, 2020. So, first things first, I actually do want to shout out someone. I want to shout out my friend Michelle on Twitter. Go follow her on Twitter at fabulousboss_. It is her birthday today. I'll be seeing her on Monday. We'll be meeting up on Monday. Happy birthday to you. And I'll be sure to wish you happy birthday in person when I see you. She's probably not watching because she's a Nia Jax fan, and all I do is shit on Nia Jax here. But regardless, Michelle, I love you. Happy birthday to you. That's number one. So, we got a lot to talk about here. We got a lot of news and rumors to go over. I actually overslept this morning, which is why I was a little late. I was a little bit late. I was about like 5 minutes late to the stream. So I was rushing out my house. Oh my God, I gotta get this done. I gotta get that done. I gotta get this done. I had to do my hair, and I had to throw on a wrestling t-shirt. I had to quickly eat breakfast. And, you know, I'm Italian, so they make me, my parents make me the big Italian breakfast. You know, with the Italian toast and the fried eggs and the pork rolls and the sausage, the breakfast sausage. Am I making you hungry? Am I making you hungry? So, that happened. I almost overslept, but I made it here for the stream. We got a lot to talk about. 6 weekly shows to go over. Italian breakfast, yeah, exactly. The Italian breakfast, my friend. Exactly, Mr. Woos. So I'm going to get to the chat in just a minute. I will keep up to date with the chat, but we're going to get into the news, rumors, and reports. But first things first, when we get into the news, rumors, and reports, before we get into that, please follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS. I actually got temporarily banned from Twitter. I don't even know why. Like, I can't retweet. I can't like any tweets. I can't follow anyone. I can only talk to people in DMs who follow me. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck did I get banned? What did I do? But it's okay for Ryback to willingly wish death upon Dave Meltzer, and he gets away scot-free. I don't know what they're doing there. But regardless of that, you ain't taking me off of YouTube. I run this motherfucking place. I'm the king. The Albert Einstein. So you all answer to me. You dig? Anyway, but please follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS. Follow me on Instagram and Periscope at TheDJStorms. Add me on Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is. I will place all the links in the description after the stream is over, and I do my usual editing. Please, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button. I got goals, so I need you to hit the like button. We got 8 people in here and only 7 thumbs up. I should see 8 thumbs up, people. Come on. Hit the thumbs up. What's going on? How are you? Please hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, of course, when you come in. And when you hit the thumbs up, you got to keep the chat booming. I will check the chat after every single report and show that we review. So keep the chat alive. Keep the chat booming. Keep the chat going. And I will be sure to check what's going on in the chat every so often here on the Lightning Flash Update live on Saturday. Please, 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 when you keep the chat booming, you got to hit the subscribe button. Oh my God, it's Matt Moody. And I do have some announcements. Matt Moody, how are you, my friend? Matt Moody's in the stream. Please show him some love. So, please keep the chat alive. Keep the chat alive, and when you keep the chat alive, you got to hit that subscribe button. I got goals I want to reach. TM161. There he is. Cameron Grimes, #1 fan. Cameron Grimes, #1 fan, TM161, because Cameron Grimes one day will win that North American title and take it to the moon. Anyway, when you hit the subscribe button, please hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache. Did I bring it? I think I brought it. I brought it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Look at it. It's perfect. It's perfect. We're gonna leave it out. We're gonna leave it out. But anyway, enough of the self-brand promotions and advertisements. We're gonna get straight into the news, rumors, and reports here we got going on the Lightning Flash updates. My first report actually comes from Ringside News, reporting that the attack on Lana and Natalya from Jackson Baszler on Monday, supposedly it had nothing to do with Miro's AEW debut. Yeah, sure. WWE's motive was to make Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler look like a dominant force as a duo. That was the main motive behind the attack. So I'm trying to think about this, and I'm thinking to myself, dominant force. Shayna Baszler look like a dominant force. Meanwhile, they just beat Sasha Banks and Bayley for the women's tag team titles. Two of the most dominant women on the main roster right now. Two of the greatest women's wrestlers in the world. Two women that epitomize the women's revolution. They beat them twice in the same week to win the women's tag team titles. But you're telling me that you gotta make them look like a dominant force by beating up Lana and Natalya? Beating up Lana and Natalya is equivalent to beating up a crash test dummy. It means nothing. It doesn't make anyone look any more legitimate. So you're telling me this wasn't because of Miro's debut? So that's number one. That's point number one. Dominant force? They beat Sasha and Bayley. You can't get any more dominant than that. Shayna Baszler tapped out both women simultaneously with a double submission hold at Payback. Nia Jax did a double crossbody on Sasha and Bayley and pinned both of them. How can you get any more dominant than that? By putting Lana through a table? Again, it's equivalent to beating up a crash test dummy. And on top of that, 2 weeks ago, Miro didn't debut on All Elite Wrestling, yet, Lana was in a match with Mickie James. That match went 5 minutes. 5 minutes, Lana and Mickie James. By logic, that match should have only lasted 25 seconds. In no way, shape, or form should a match with Mickie James and Lana go longer than 25 seconds. And on top of that, Lana got a good chunk of offense in that match before she lost. And then here she loses to the Riot Squad alongside Natalya, and then she gets put to a table by Nia Jax. But you're telling me that this is not because of pure pettiness on WWE's behalf? Sure. This had to do with Miro's debut 1,000%. No way, shape, or form this did not. No way, shape, or form. There's no way that you're going to have both of these women, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, there's no way that you're going to have them beat up Lana and Natalya of all people, and yet people will look at them any different than they look at them now. People aren't going to look at them any different because beating up Lana and Natalya means nothing. They're worthless. They're at the bottom of the barrel. It's pure pettiness. Not that I really care about Lana, but at the end of the day, this had to do with Miro's debut in All Elite Wrestling. We got 12 people watching so far. We got Kid Wonders, Life of Wonder. How are you? And we also got Ruben Day. How are you, my friend? We got Ruben Day. How are you? We got a lot of good stuff. Lots of good stuff here going on LFU. You're damn right I'm spitting facts. So, we're moving on to the next report we got going on over here. Earl Cole, how are you, my friend? Earl Cole, how are you? Please hit that thumbs up. Please share the stream out. Earl Cole's in the building. Earl Cole and me, we are the saviors of the community. Me and Earl Cole, we spit the facts, tell the truth. Me and Earl Cole, we own the world. That's what me and Earl Cole do. We run the world. But anyway, Moving on to the next report comes from WrestleVotes, and they tweeted out a report regarding a disgruntled WWE employee. Listen to this. So the tweet read, and I quote, "I can't reveal the name as that's just not smart business, but I can very confidently say that a certain WWE talent has decided not to re-sign with the company once their current deal expires." End quote. Now, this is rather interesting. This is rather interesting, though I don't really know who it is. So, a lot of people were speculating who it could have been. It could have been Daniel Bryan, but then again, I heard that Daniel Bryan's contract doesn't expire until September of 2021. And if I'm a betting man, I wouldn't think that WrestleVotes would be tweeting about Daniel Bryan, or they wouldn't expire until a year later. If we're talking about someone who's not resigning, it's going to be someone who is not coming back within the next few months. So they could be leaving. Bar none, he will be coming back. I don't know when, but more likely not when the Browns come back. Brock Lesnar's coming back. As far as Seth Rollins goes, why would Seth Rollins leave? This guy is having his wife get all of this money during her pregnancy leave. Seth Rollins ain't leaving. So a lot of people speculated Daniel Bryan. Speculated Daniel Bryan. I don't think it's Daniel Bryan. Some people expected Ricochet. Ricochet was rumored, but then Ricochet debunked those rumors. Some people expected Adam Cole, because Adam Cole, he was the talk of the entire summer. Will he resign? Will he resign? What's going on with Adam Cole's contract? So Adam Cole, it could still be up in the air. I don't know if Adam Cole has resigned, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll definitely have to wait and see there, but it could literally be anybody. It could literally be anybody. Whoever you guys think it is, please sound off in the chat. I'll check it out later. Please sound off in the chat. But those three names were thrown down. Thank you, Ruben. Viking Raiders, you know what? To be quite honest, I would not be surprised. I would really not be surprised, Earl. WrestleVotes also tweeted out a report regarding the concerns of what will happen when the Thunderdome contract expires on October 30th. Now listen to this. So the tweet read, and I quote, "Over the past week or so, WWE has assembled a small team to figure out if running TV for outdoors venues would be feasible once the Thunderdome contract expires. Idea is that both SD and Raw would be in the same location each week. Southern states with good weather is the preference. All TBD. All TBD." No worries, Danielle. Just take your time, no worries. So, the Thunderdome contract, of course, expires on October 30th. And it's a waste of time. Thunderdome's a waste of time. So, I don't really know what they're going to do following the Thunderdome contract expiring. We're going to have to wait and see. I don't mind them operating in outdoor stadiums with about like 20,000 fans in attendance. I really don't mind that. Obviously, socially distanced, wearing masks. It's probably the best route to go. I mean, AEW is doing it with Daly's Place, but obviously they don't have 20,000. They just have a few hundred. So, obviously, WWE is going to look to outdo All Elite Wrestling because of their pure pettiness. So at the end of the day, I really wouldn't be surprised if WWE does find a stadium and they do start putting on shows outdoors with 20,000 fans with masks, socially distanced. I wouldn't be surprised. To be quite honest, it's probably the best route to go because these piped in crowd noises for the Thunderdome, it's fucking ridiculous. Earl, let me tell you something. When have I cared what the WWE Universe and Twitter thinks? The majority of them are idiots. They're idiots! I don't care about them. They got nothing on me. I'm the king here. I'm the king. Fuck the Thunderdome. Moving on to a report from Dave Meltzer. Now listen to this. Dave Meltzer and Sportskeeda, actually. Sportskeeda and Dave Meltzer both reported that Retribution is said to remain masked until we get to the Survivor Series. Now, right then and there, I'm like, you're really going to keep these guys masked on for the next 2 months? We pretty much already know who they are. We know Mercedes Martinez is in there. We know Chelsea Green is in there. We know Shane Thorne and Theo Madden and Dominic Dijakovic's in there and Mia Yim's in there. I don't understand why all these people are in there anyway. Here's what I want to know. Why are all these individuals on the main roster this early in their careers? Mercedes Martinez didn't even get her feet wet in NXT. All she's going to be known for is the steel cage match that she had with Rhea Ripley. That's number one. Number two, Mia Yim, she could have easily stayed in NXT. Why isn't she on SmackDown? Because the SmackDown Live Women's Division, they need all the help that they can get. They need all the help that they can get because outside of Sasha and Bayley, the division sucks. It sucks. He could have easily been an interim opponent for Io Shirai. And then on top of that, Dijakovic. Dijakovic could have easily been someone to take the Intercontinental Championship, not Intercontinental Championship. Dominic Dijakovic could have easily been the one to take the North American Championship off of either Damian Priest or Keith Lee. He could have been great facing off against Keith Lee or Damian Priest for the North American Championship. I don't understand why he doesn't even have at least one North American title reign underneath his belt. I really don't understand that. But if they're set to be revealed by Survivor Series, then what I can see happening is I can definitely see them possibly in a Survivor Series match, possibly against the Hurt Business, based off of what happened on Raw this past Monday. I can definitely see the Hurt Business versus Retribution. But regardless of that, this Retribution angle is already a complete flop. We are over a month into this Retribution angle, and they're cutting the same fucking promos every single week. They are running roughshod over WWE, quote-unquote roughshod over WWE, yet we can pretty much predict when they come out. It's stereotypical, it's predictable, and it's not exciting whatsoever. It's not something that WWE needs. It sucks. It sucks. To be blunt, it sucks. I don't know what they're going to do with Retribution, to be quite honest. I don't even care if they unmask them. I don't care what's going on. To be quite honest, I hope they kill Retribution within the next few weeks. It's probably not going to happen, but I can dream. Guy can certainly dream. Moving on. This is actually an interesting report. Teal Piper. What's going on, Hannah? Hit the thumbs up. Exactly, Earl. Exactly. Teal Piper, Roddy Piper's daughter, she posted pics on her Instagram training with Ronda Rousey. Yes, training with Ronda Rousey. You heard it here first. Ronda Rousey is back training in a wrestling ring. Now, this has created speculation that she could be returning to WWE sooner rather than later. To be quite honest with you, I don't give a shit. Because Ronda Rousey's presence, it's not going to make WWE any better. Ronda Rousey's presence, it's actually going to have a negative effect because it'll show you how desperate they really are, that they need to bring back Ronda Rousey in order to generate any sort of buzz in the women's division. Ronda Rousey, she was great when she was in the WWE, and I was actually a big advocate for Ronda Rousey because of how well she worked in the ring. She had a great year. But at the end of the day, no matter what she did for the women's division, WWE failed to capitalize on it, and nobody benefited from from Ronda Rousey's presence except for Becky and Charlotte. And no new stars were created. Everything's the same. Nothing's changed from back then and right now. The women's division is actually worse than it's ever been. I don't understand how Ronda Rousey's come in and it's actually become worse ever since she's left. And wrestling. All Vince McMahon cared about was pushing Ronda Rousey and giving Ronda Rousey these big feuds. These big feuds because of the simple fact that whenever Vince McMahon looked at Ronda Rousey, he saw dollar signs around Ronda Rousey. That's it. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I really don't. Ronda Rousey and her presence is not going to fix the women's division at all. Ronda Rousey's presence is actually going to have a negative effect on the women's division because she's actually going to be taking away opportunities from women who haven't even gotten an opportunity to begin with. Like Shayna Baszler, like Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, and Bianca Belair. People like that. So I don't understand why people are saying that Ronda Rousey is going to magically make the women's division better. She's not. Matter of fact, this is actually getting me scared. Because I've said that Sasha Banks is the correct woman to win the Royal Rumble and face Bayley at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Live Women's title. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to happen because if Ronda Rousey's coming back, this gets me scared that Charlotte, who is currently out right now, but I have a feeling she's going to come back before the end of the year. Charlotte is going to come back before the end of the year. Charlotte's going to win the Raw Women's title from Asuka. And then we are going to get Ronda Rousey winning the Royal Rumble and then fighting Charlotte at WrestleMania. Exactly, yo. Ronda isn't a ratings grab. No one's a ratings grab because they failed to build up new stars. So I hope to God that Ronda Rousey doesn't come back. I really hope that she doesn't come back because if she does, then she's going to win the Royal Rumble and face Charlotte for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania 37 because Vince McMahon can't help but get his way. Vince wanted his way. And he couldn't get his way with WrestleMania 35 because Becky jumped in. And if they didn't put Becky in the WrestleMania main event, then all of the WWE Universe would have given them even worse backlash than what happened if Daniel Bryan wasn't in the WrestleMania main event. Becky was the Daniel Bryan of 2019, and if she didn't main event WrestleMania with those two women, then everyone would have shit all over WWE. Vince McMahon didn't want that backlash. But now Vince doesn't care. Now he wants his way. He gave us what we wanted, now he's going to get what he wanted. I hope to God Ronda Rousey doesn't come back. Moving on. For those of you who do not know, Mandy Rose was actually traded to Monday Night Raw. Mandy Rose was traded to Monday Night Raw, and Ringside News reported that there is currently no plan for Mandy Rose following the Monday Night Raw trade. So why did you trade her to Raw? Why did you trade? Actually, no, I shouldn't even be surprised. I shouldn't even be surprised because 90 to 95% of the entire roster doesn't have plans. I'd be surprised if Drew McIntyre has any plans, and he's the fucking WWE champion. No plans. No plans. Because they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. I don't understand how you have all of these creative team, you have all these creative writing members, and you have no plans for Mandy Rose. Then why the fuck did you trade her to Raw? Why isn't she facing Bayley for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship? That makes a lot more sense than fucking Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross, how many times has she lost to Bayley? 5 times this year alone? How many times has Nikki Cross lost to Bayley? Mandy Rose, she beat Sonya Deville at SummerSlam, and then she hasn't been seen since. Why isn't Mandy Rose challenging Bayley at Clash of Champions? She's the most logical individual. Or, better yet, where the fuck is Naomi? Again, where's Naomi? She beat Bayley before SummerSlam on the Go Home SmackDown Live, the first SmackDown in the Thunderdome. She beat Bayley. Clean. Why isn't she challenging for the SmackDown Live Women's title? But we gotta get Nikki Cross in there to sell this feud with Alexa Bliss. You can figure out another way to sell the Alexa Bliss Fiend angle with Nikki Cross other than a SmackDown Live Women's title match that we've already seen God knows how many times before. No plans. I wouldn't be surprised if she's back on SmackDown by the time the draft rolls around, the rumored draft. And my final report. On the news, rumors, and reports section. And then I'm going to check the chat. Ringside News. They reported that WWE does not have a solid direction. They do not have a solid plan or a solid direction for Keith Lee on Raw. This came from Dave Meltzer, who said that there is no solid direction for him. No solid direction for Keith Lee. Then I'm going to ask the question, why the fuck did you call him up? Why is he on Raw? Why is he on Raw? Oh, they're going to continue his push. He beat Randy Orton. He's in the ring with Drew McIntyre. Who the fuck cares? Why is there no solid direction for Keith Lee on Monday Night Raw? Why is Keith Lee floating around in repetitive matches against Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre? I don't understand that. Keith Lee has had 5 matches on the main roster, and only one of them ended clean with him winning. They're not jobbering him. Listen, they're not jobbering him, Earl, but at the same point in time, they are ruining him. You're doing the same thing with Keith Lee that you did with Sammy and Andrade and the Forgotten Sons and Angel Garza. No plans. Ember Moon, Bianca Belair. You're calling these people up with no plans just for the sake of calling them up. Why are you calling them up without any plans? If you are calling someone up, you should have solid plans with them. Same thing with Matt Riddle. What the fuck is Matt Riddle doing? He's on SmackDown teaching us the lessons of bro. Bro's a universal language. Fuck you is my universal language. Fuck you, WWE. No plans. No plans. If you do not have solid plans for someone, then you shouldn't be calling them up. I don't know where Keith Lee goes, but we're getting another match with Drew McIntyre and Keith Lee on Monday Night Raw next week. We're getting another fucking match. I don't fucking understand why you're giving Keith Lee another match with Drew McIntyre if it means more likely than not Randy Orton is going to get involved. I don't understand that. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. No plans. No plans, no plans, no plans, no plans, no plans. Keith Lee, if Keith Lee is not in the WWE Championship title picture, if he does not win the WWE Championship by next year's SummerSlam, they're doing something wrong with the company. They're already doing something wrong with the company, but they will be certified dumbasses. Well, they already are certified dumbasses, but they'll be even more certified as dumbasses if they don't put the title on Keith Lee by next year's SummerSlam. Aleister Black should be the guy to take the title off of McIntyre, and then Keith Lee takes the title off of Black. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So those are your news, rumors, and reports. Before we get into the weekly show reviews, I'm going to check the chat. Let's check the chat. So, Ruben, thank you for all the likes. I greatly appreciate it. So, Hannah said they should give women who haven't even gotten a title opportunity or hasn't been in the ring for months at least a title opportunity. Very true. Hannah also said we need new feuds. We don't need feuds that happen over and over again. Earl Cole has the hashtag, what are you doing, WWE. Please hashtag, what are you doing? Follow Earl Cole. Please follow Earl Cole. I'm thinking about getting him back on the channel. Earl, what do you say? What do you say to the rundown for Hell in a Cell? How about that? Hannah says, if he got traded to Raw, who's going to get traded to SmackDown? I don't even know. Wesley Woosley says, hashtag, who booked this crap? Earl said 5 times we've seen this match. Yeah, 5 times we've seen Nikki Cross and Bayley. Hannah says, this is why we need DJ Storms in control of the WWE. He would make sure all superstars have a plan. He would make sure Raw, NXT, SmackDown actually gives the fans what they want, like the McMahons promised, quote unquote. Earl Cole says he's going to be commissioner. Of course you'd be my commissioner, Earl. Of course you'd be my commissioner. So we're going to move on to the weekly show reviews here. We got Monday Night Raw to start off, although who the fuck wants to talk about Monday Night Raw? I can only name 2 good things about Monday Night Raw at this rate. Number 1, the Hurt Business. They've been the best thing about Monday Night Raw since the summer started. And number 2 is the developing storyline between Rollins and Murphy, which I do believe is going to result in a match at Hell in a Cell. Oh, trust me, I'm going to talk about that, guys. I'm going to talk about that. So, Drew McIntyre kicked off the show. Drew says he's back. He considers himself lucky. He says Randy should consider himself lucky as he did not break his jaw. He says he'd rather leave in an ambulance rather than give up his championship. Drew then challenged Orton to an ambulance match at Clash of Champions. We all saw that coming. He talks about how he created the Claymore and how he kicked up his other foot when he was wearing tight leather pants as a part of 3MB. So then Adam Pearce came out, and Pearce said Randy may not make it to the pay-per-view, and he says if Lee beats him tonight in the main event, then Orton will no longer be a part of Clash of Champions if he can't make it, and Lee will take his spot. So then Lee came out, and he didn't say a word, and he just shook hands, but they didn't let go. Neither man let go, and they were kind of teasing each other like, yeah, I know what I can do, but do you know what I can do? You know, they were just kind of getting in each other's faces, quote-unquote friendly competition, shit like that. I don't really care. I don't know why this is being wasted on free television. I don't know why we're getting Lee and McIntyre again next Monday. Lazy fucking booking. So we got an ambulance match at Clash of Champions. Randy Orton's going to make he's going to make the pay-per-view regardless. Now, whether he wins or loses, the rumored plan is McIntyre and Orton inside Hell in a Cell. And if that's the case, then that needs to end this feud. Street Profits versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. This match went about 11 minutes. Listen, I'm not going to lie. It was a decent match. I enjoy watching these two wrestle. For their 4 great wrestlers. But at the end of the day, what the fuck was the point of this? The Street Profits win clean. So Ford got powerbombed into the barricade going into commercial. Dawkins then came off the hot tag. Big exploder suplex on Nakamura for a 2. Nakamura with a sliding German. We had the cash out, countered by double knees to the gut. We had a Cesaro swing and a Kinshasa, but Dawkins broke up that pinfall. We had a beautiful pop-up uppercut to Montez Ford that looked like Cesaro fucking broke his neck. That got a 2 count. We had a big superplex on Ford, but Dawkins made the tag, and Dawkins hit the cash out splash for the win. Decent match, but what the fuck was the point of this? Cesaro and Nakamura lost clean. What the fuck was the point of making this match? Oh yeah, that's right. You wanted to pop a rating because you got Monday Night Football. Oh, look, guys, we got a champion versus champion match. Please watch our shit show over football, even though football is 1,000 times better. Nothing more than a fucking ratings grab. Did Cesaro and Nakamura really need to take 2 back-to-back pinfall losses in non-title matches over the course of 3 days? Did they? So now we're going to get another champion versus champion match, more likely not at Survivor Series. Oh, this was in your face Monday Night Raw, by the way. This was in your face Monday Night Raw. The only thing that's in your face is how bad it really is. Angel Garza and Andrade, they had a backstage segment. Vega was arguing with them. He said that, or she said that, I can't do this anymore. And they got into a brawl. So, they're breaking up Angel Garza and Andrade. So, who are the Street Profits going to face off against at Clash of Champions? At this rate, it's going to have to be the Hurt Business, because they're the only other team. Viking Raiders are out with injury. AOP got released. Angel Garza and Andrade, they're gone. They're done. They're going off and doing their own thing as separate singles guys. So at the end of the day, it's going to have to be the Hurt Business. Speaking of the Hurt Business, we had Cedric Alexander and Ricochet in a match. Well, before that, MVP took the microphone. He said that business is booming. Cedric said that this is his job, and being with Apollo and Ricochet left him broke and beaten. Apollo then came out and he said that we had your back, but Cedric said, how many times was I catching a beating for him, for you, while you were still the United States champion? Ricochet then took the microphone and said that they were brothers. You thought it was bad that the Hurt Business after him. So, another decent match here, nothing too crazy. We had Ricochet coming back with a drop kick to the face and a dragon suplex for a 2. We had a Meishinuku driver by Cedric, and then Ricochet caught a lumbar check, and he sold the ever-living shit out of this lumbar check. I swear to God, it looked like he legitimately broke his spine. It was fucking great. So props to Ricochet for making Cedric look great. And that was it. Cedric wins, but then the lights go black. The lights go black. The Retribution logo comes up on the screen, and Retribution comes up on the Titantron. They said that they were a product of empty promises. Yeah, so is the entire fucking roster. So is the entire roster a product of empty promises. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. He said, when you associate with garbage, you become garbage. Very true. Very true, Mr. Dijakovic. Enjoy your last days before we gut this place apart. And that was that. And then the Hurt Business walked up to Adam Pearce afterwards and said that they're going to take care of Retribution and they'll be sending him a bill. Way to make Cedric Alexander's first week as a member of the Hurt Business, his first legit singles match as a member of the Hurt Business, way to make that feel unimportant. Way to make that feel unimportant. Again, I'm going to state, Retribution is supposed to be a team of unpredictable vigilantes, but yet we can predict when they come out because the lights go out, and when the lights go out, that means Retribution's coming, and they got their own fucking logo. They got their own fucking logo. How long, I actually want to shout out someone, Big Boy Johnny. He's not in the chat right now, but Big Boy Johnny, his real name's James Harmon. He actually was talking to me in a group chat, and he said, how long before Retribution gets their own t-shirts? And I'm thinking to myself, it's gonna fucking happen. It's gonna happen. There you go. Adam's in the chat. Failure-bution. Unpredictable vigilantes, but yet they got their own logo. We can predict when they come out, and they're going to get their own t-shirt. But you want to destroy the WWE, yet the WWE is making your own logo, making your own t-shirt. Where's the logic in that? Unpredictable vigilantes that can be predicted in an instant. That was that. Asuka versus Mickie James for the Raw Women's Championship. I don't know what happened here. I really don't know what happened here. I was actually looking forward to this match. I was actually looking forward to this match, and I'm not sure if it was Mickie James or I'm not sure if it was the production of the match. It could have been a little combination of both. I don't know what happened here. I don't know what took place, but Mickie James was fucking off. Mickie James was off in this match. I'm not sure if it was ring rust. I'm not sure if it was the way that they produced the match, especially the ending. I don't know what happened in this match, but this was not good whatsoever. It really wasn't. It was not good. I'm not sure what took place because Mickie James was actually fairly decent when she came back, but this match with Asuka, oh my god. Mickie James was fucking all over the place in this match. Sloppy, uncoordinated. I mean, it legitimately looked like I was watching an Alexa Bliss match. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but this was extremely disappointing. This was extremely disappointing. This was extremely embarrassing for both the women. Asuka was fine, but Mickie James, I don't know what the fuck happened. So, the first 3 minutes of the matchup were fine. That was fine, but after that, after the match came back from commercial, it just went downhill. We had Asuka getting caught with flapjack. Asuka then caught Mickie James off the top, seated senton. Asuka with a spinning back fist. Mickie James reversed a running kick into a half crab, a very sloppy looking half crab at that. We had a Mick kick that didn't even look like it fucking connected. Asuka grabbed the rope. Asuka then pulled Mickie James into the Asuka lock, and Mickie James rolled over. She rolled over on her stomach, and she was in a pinning position on Asuka. And then she rolled back over, and the ref called the match and ruled that Mickie James couldn't continue. I don't know what the fuck happened here. I'm not sure if it was on the ref's behalf. I'm not sure if it was the ref's fault. I'm not sure if Mickie James was legitimately hurt, but she was looking at the ref like, what the fuck? I didn't tap. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but instead of actually building up Mickie James and giving her a little bit more time to actually get the feel for a big match, you just wasted away on television. You literally just wasted away. Mickie James, and I've said it once and I'll say it again, Mickie James is realistically the only person that would pose any type of threat against Asuka at the pay-per-view. She's realistically the best one to get built up for Asuka at the pay-per-view, and yet here they are wasting it away on TV in a fucking sloppy-ass match. And then here, top it all off, Zelina Vega actually came out. Zelina Vega came out, said that she's been managing ingrates. She said that you're being reckless with the Raw Women's title and that she's ready for Asuka. Vega then struck Asuka and left. So now you're building up Zelina Vega for the pay-per-view. Zelina Vega, she is the Spanish Alexa Bliss, if I've ever seen her. She was once good, but ever since that she took on this managerial role, that's been her role now. That's been her role, and that's the role that she should stay in. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Zelina Vega, but building her up for a match with Asuka, no one believes that Zelina Vega even has an eyelash of a chance of beating Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. What you should have done is you should have built up Mickie James with some actual credible wins, and then you could have had the match at the pay-per-view. But instead we got this sloppy botch fest, and Zelina Vega is now being teased to fight Asuka at the pay-per-view. I don't understand why Shayna Baszler isn't being positioned to fight Asuka. Shayna Baszler should realistically be the title off of Asuka. Asuka should have been champion throughout the entire summer. We shouldn't have had Sasha winning the title only to drop it 4 weeks later. Asuka should have been champion for the entire summer, then you should have dropped it to Shayna. Shayna and Nia should not be a tag team. The women's tag team title should be in the fucking dumpster. Oh, and then we got Bobby Lashley and Eric. Because Ivar needs cervical surgery. Bobby Lashley wins with the full Lashley, or the Hurt Lock, as he calls it. And then Braun Strowman's on Raw Underground. Braun Strowman is on Raw Underground. He's a SmackDown superstar. Now he's on Raw Underground, and he has no desire to go after Roman Reigns in the Universal Championship. My face is always red, Danielle. You know what? Let me actually check the chat. So my friend Adam's in the chat. How are you, Adam? Wesley Lyndon Woosley. I think we've already found out who the members of Retribution are. Who booked the crappy finish? I don't know who fucking booked. Vince McMahon booked that crappy ass finish. Oh, hey, here we go. Here's Travis. Retribution is awful. You're fucking telling me. Anarchist group that has their own logo. It's fucking ridiculous. Manager being booked against an ace. Asuka should destroy her. If Asuka doesn't destroy Zelina Vega in 2 minutes at Clash Champions, it's a waste of time. Cameron Johnson's in the building. Please hit that like button, Cameron Johnson. So Rollins was in the back. Now this was probably one of the best parts about Raw. Rollins was in the back. And he invited Murphy in. And he pinned Murphy against the wall. And he said, "You stay back here, because I won't have to deal with your stupid mistakes." Slapped Murphy, choking Murphy. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this is some great shit right here. This right here is probably the best storyline on Raw. Rollins and Murphy. Rollins is just being an asshole. Rollins just being a dick to Buddy Murphy. And this is going to lead towards sympathy for Buddy Murphy. Rollins is just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And what happened later on in the steel cage match, that also played a factor into this. So we had Dominic and Rollins in a steel cage match, which was very good. This was probably the best part about Monday Night Raw. So we had Murphy coming out, sliding a kendo stick into the ring. And Rollins used the kendo stick before Dominic came back. He sent Rollins into the cage. Ray gave Dominic a kendo stick. Vicious kendo stick shots right to the back and to the abdomen. We had a big powerbomb for a 2. Dominic then got crotched on the top rope, and then Rollins soon followed suit. Murphy then attacked Rey Mysterio, but Murphy accidentally slammed the cage door into Rollins' face. Now Murphy, his intentions were good. Here's the story that they're telling here. His intentions were good. His intentions were to help Rollins, but Rollins told him to stay back, but he accidentally hit Rollins in the face with the steel cage door. This is going to play in to the story that they're telling here. So, after that, Dominic tried to take advantage. He took out Murphy. We had a big frog splash to Rollins for a 2. Rollins with a superplex Falcon Arrow combination for a close 2 count. We eventually got 2 stomps to Dominic Mysterio, and Rollins wins. Afterwards, Rollins was embracing Murphy. He was holding Murphy by his head, and then he threw Buddy Murphy into the barricade. Threw him into the cage, slammed the cage door in his face, and he said, "It sucks, I know." Then he walked up to Angie. He walked up to Angie and Aaliyah. And this didn't really have anything to do with the storyline with Murphy. I just found this to be fucking awesome. He said, "Hell of a job you did there. Hope she turns out better." So I'm looking at this and I'm like, that's fucking great. Rollins is just playing excellent dick. He's a pussy on social media. He blocked me. He's a fucking pussy on social media, but he is undoubtedly a great heel. The way that he just comes off and the way that he carries himself. Hell of a job. I hope she turns out better. Just being a complete fucking prick to the Mysterio family. And it's this prick attitude. This prick attitude is really going to help get Buddy Murphy over in the end. The match is coming. The match is coming. It's going to come at Hell in a Cell. That's what I see happening. Now, what we're waiting on here, is we're waiting on Buddy Murphy. We're waiting on Buddy Murphy to finally fucking snap. We're waiting on Buddy Murphy to finally snap. Rollins is going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until Buddy Murphy fights back and hits him. And then when he hits him, he's going to end up being much better off in the end. He gets a victory over Rollins, and Rollins goes to care for his wife and his soon-to-be born child. So I love what they're doing with Rollins and Murphy. I love what they're doing with Rollins and Murphy. They are doing some great shit with Rollins and Murphy. We had Braun Strowman on Raw Underground, you know, the monster among men. Braun Strowman. So he ran through Ziggler and Riddick Moss on Raw Underground. I didn't give a shit. Raw Underground is a complete failure. Raw Underground needs to be abolished. Anyone who supports Raw Underground is a fucking idiot, and I have no... As a matter of fact, I don't care who the fuck you are, whether you're a friend, a family member, a fan. If you support Raw Underground, I'm fucking disowning you. I don't give a shit. So Lee and Drew McIntyre, they got into a brawl backstage. The officials, they separated them. I thought there was a brand split, Cameron, but then again, who the fuck knows at this rate? Who the fuck knows? Titus O'Neil, he came into Raw Underground and he got dropped by Braun Strowman, easily dropped. Kevin Owens and Aleister Black. I actually stepped away because I was actually preparing for a business fair, a virtual business fair, and I needed to step away. All I know that happened in this match was the fact that Owens hit a stunner on Black and he won. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Aleister Black. I feel fucking terrible for Aleister Black. I don't know why they have this match between Black and Owens on Monday Night Raw. They're not building towards a big match between these two. I don't even know why these two are feuding. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Aleister Black. I feel terrible for Aleister Black. Why didn't Aleister Black win Money in the Bank? Why the fuck is he in this throwaway storyline with Kevin Owens? And you know something? There's a rumor that Kevin Owens is even frustrated with his position. I don't fucking blame him. Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Lana. Riott Squad wins. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were there, and Lana got put through a table. Buried, not that I care, but buried because of Miro showing up on All Elite Wrestling. I don't really need to explain why. I really don't need to explain why. Oh, trust me, I'll start smiling when I stop talking about Monday Night Raw, which is going to be in a little bit. Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre. I don't know, and here's something. Here's something right here. Why the fuck did you put Keith Lee in a singlet? Are you trying to make him the next fucking Big Show, the next fucking Mark Henry? What was wrong with Keith Lee? Why couldn't he have just wrestled in his normal gear? You put him in a fucking singlet. I swear to God, Keith Lee is like a fucking chameleon. He changes every fucking week. Just give him his regular gear and his regular fucking theme music back. So, Big Show, aka Keith Lee, he was on the receiving end of a big belly-to-belly suplex by Drew McIntyre. So then Drew caught him with a clothesline for a 2, Lee with a superplex for a 2, and a double crossbody. Both men were down, and then Retribution swarmed the ring, and they started attacking Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre. Then here's something that I want to know. So the Hurt Business came out, and we had a big brawl breaking out. And get this, the Hurt Business were actually giving Retribution a fight. How many guys did Retribution have? 14, 15, 16, 17? How many guys did Hurt Business have? 4. Are you telling me that a group of 14 guys can't easily overpower a group of 4 guys? Are you telling me it takes Drew McIntyre and Keith Lee doing double topes over the top rope in order to finally level everyone? But 4 guys in the Hurt Business can actually give a group of 14 guys in Retribution a fight. Retribution should have overpowered them instantly. I don't fucking know why Mia Yim's in Retribution. At this rate, I don't even know where Drew McIntyre is going to be going after Clash of Champions. I don't fucking know. I don't think WWE even knows. Terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible show outside of Rollins and the Hurt Business. Look at this. Look at this. I'm yelling so much that the WWE Network is not operating correctly. Look at this shit. Hey, we just got the 20 likes. Looks like my yelling got the 20 likes. Thank you, whoever was the 20th like. Let me see if I can get this up and running again. Let me see if I can get this shit up and running again. Oh. Exactly, Adam. We're supposed to take Retribution seriously. Bullshit, Earl. Bullshit. Vince McMahon didn't want to use Keith Lee because Keith Lee's theme music was too charismatic. He wants to make Keith Lee boring and generic, just like everyone else. There you go. It's working. AEW Dark. We're going to move on to AEW Dark. So, this really wasn't anything special. We did have some decent wrestling on the show, but the 9-match, 10-match, 11-match format, it's really fucking overbearing. We did get some decent wrestling. This was pretty much an enhancement show. So, Brandy Rhodes took on Red Velvet's actually very good. I don't mind Red Velvet. She's actually a very swift and fluid wrestler. Terrible name, but good wrestler. So she took on Brandy. Brandy ended up winning with the Karafuda clutch while staring at Anna Jay, who was up on the stage. So we had Daniel Garcia and Kevin Blackwood versus the Butcher and the Blade. Very academic showing, nothing too crazy. Full death for the win. That was that. Day Jordan versus Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford, she won with the Fisherman Suplex. That was that. Brian Cage versus Megalite Ronnie. Cage wins with the Drill Claw. Proud and Powerful versus Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. Powerbomb, punt kick combo for the win. Jesse Sorensen versus Will Hobbs. Running power slam for the win by Will Hobbs. That was that. Skylar Moore and Roche Chanel versus and we got Ivelisse and Diamante winning, and that was that. Backstabber and a penalty kick for the win. Colt Cabana versus QT Marshall. This is actually fairly decent. I didn't mind this match. So Colt Cabana with some stiff elbow strikes. We had QT coming back with an atomic drop. We had a scoop slam, diving back elbow off the top, STO, backbreaker combo for a 2, and then QT caught Colt Cabana with a back suplex. Griff Garrison then hit QT with a knee behind the ref's back, and we had a discus lariat by Colt for the win. Fairly decent match, nothing too special here, and that was pretty much that. We had Peter Avalon versus Brandon Cutler. Now, this match went about 8 minutes, and this was to decide who was finally going to get a win, and neither man ended up walking out victorious here. So we had Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler starting off the match with some heavy punches. We had a beautiful springboard flying forearm. Big tope suicida by Cutler. Avalon did a slip around the ring post. Very nice fluid motion right here. Some stiff chops. We had a big tope suicida. Uranagi by Avalon for 2. We had an inverted 1916 by Cutler. Very, very, very close near fall right there. Big Tiger Bomb by Peter Avalon for a 2. You know, when they're given the chance, they can actually fucking wrestle. This wasn't a bad match whatsoever. This is actually very good. We had a double Meteora and a split leg moonsault by Avalon, but Cutler just stayed alive. Cutler hit his springboard elbow, but Avalon kicked out, and then the fight spilled to the outside, and it led to a double countout. Now, I don't know why they're stringing this along, but I will say that this was actually a very good match for 8 minutes. They can fucking wrestle when they're given the opportunity. Avalon and Cutler, they can fucking wrestle. So then we had Max Stardom and Dante Smiley versus the Best Friends. Double pile drivers for the win, nothing too special. Dark Order versus Billy and Austin Gunn and Private Party. Fun 8-man tag, nothing too special here. And the Dark Order win with the fatality to Austin Gunn, and that was pretty much AEW Dark. Nothing really too special, a lot of academic matches. You know what, for the first time ever, I actually need to go refill this, so I'm going to leave. We're actually going to put this on pause. I'm going to put this on, you know, I'm not going to put it on pause. I'm going to let you watch Clash of Champions for a minute. I'm going to go refill this, and I'm going to go do what I should have done during Monday Night Raw. I'm going to go drop one in the John. I'll be right back. of course something went wrong. There we go. I'm back. What we got here? Let me read the chat while I was gone. Let's read the chat while I was gone. I actually want to read the chat. What happened while I was gone? What did I miss? What did I miss? Blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, Danielle. Yeah, I did. Oh, my God. Hey, when duty calls, duty calls. No pun intended. Anyway, I'm back. We're going to finish the weekly show reviews. We're going to talk about Dynamite next. A show that I can actually invest my time in. So, Dynamite. Oh, yeah, the women are still brawling. Look at that. Women are still brawling. So, Dynamite. This is actually an excellent show. I loved how this Dynamite played out. We had the Jurassic Express in the ring, and the Young Bucks. Now, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the show. So, the Young Bucks came out, and they super kicked Mike Posey, and then they went to the back where Tony Khan was, and they just said, hey, you want to fight us? And Matt wasn't even looking at Tony Khan, and he just tossed some bills at Tony Khan like he didn't give a fuck. I thought that was great. So I'm thinking to myself, man, this Young Bucks heel run, really, really, really intriguing. I don't know where it's headed, but from what I see, I am really liking what the Young Bucks are doing as heels. So FTR then made their way out to the ring, and we got a tag team match between the Jurassic Express and the tag team champions, FTR. So Jungle Boy was isolated at the beginning. Luchasaurus got the hot tag. He tossed Cash into Dax in military press style. Then we had a running elbow to the back of the head after some vicious kicks by Jungle Boy. That got a 2 count. A swift sequence by Dax and by Jungle Boy. Roll up after roll up after roll up after roll up. And they went back and forth, and then Luchasaurus got taken out, sent into the crowd, and then we got an assisted roll-up by FTR where Cash Wheeler held Dax down on Jungle Boy for the win. And this was a great tag team match to start off the show. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, they're fantastic. FTR, fantastic. Very nice tag team match to start off the show. And if there's one thing that AEW knows how to do, it's make their champions look strong. Tag team champions look strong. We had Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. They look great in defeat. And that's pretty much all I could ask for. Champions look strong. They look great. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, they look great. So I'm actually very much looking forward to what FTR does in the future as far as the tag team titles go. So we had a segment with Private Party and Matt Hardy in the back, when Matt Hardy was actually taken out, and Chris Jericho and Hager mocked him. So obviously that was leading towards the match between Private Party and Jericho and Hager later on. Then we had Frankie Kazarian versus Hangman Adam Page. Now, we all know that Page is a megastar. Hangman Page, megastar, future world champion, easily. But the fact of the matter that Frankie Kazarian, he is, like 43, 44 years old, and he can still go. He can still move around like he's 25. That's fucking impressive. No matter how you look at it, that is fucking impressive. So, I don't know where they came up with this match, and to be quite honest, it really was just a throwaway match. But man, this match was fucking great. This was a great fucking match between Kazarian and Page. If you guys have not watched it, I would highly recommend you go back and watch it. This match was fucking fantastic. 14 minutes this match went. So Kenny Omega was on commentary. Frankie Kazarian with a nice fisherman suplex for 2. Hangman Page and Kazarian traded some stiff shots, some stiff elbows, some stiff kicks. We had Page with a nice fallaway slam and a shooting star press for a 2. We had a slingshot DDT by Kazarian for a 2, and then an unprettier for another close 2 count. Kazarian, he was laying in some swift moves, some stiff shots. We then had a pump handle Death Valley driver on Kazarian, but Kazarian still kicked out. We had a slingshot cutter by Kazarian for a close 2 count by Page. We then had a beautiful sit-out powerbomb on Kazarian, but Kazarian still kicked out. Page then eventually caught the buckshot lariat, and Page walked out the winner. But Kenny Omega, he just walked off. He didn't even acknowledge Page. He just walked back through the tunnel. This match was fucking great. Even though it was a throwaway match, it was fucking awesome. Please go check it out. As far as the storyline between Kenny and Hangman goes, I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. I think they're prolonging it for the time being because, realistically speaking, whoever takes the title off of Moxley, it's going to be a heel. Whoever takes the title off of Moxley, Hangman Page is realistically the next champion. So based off of that, it would make sense to prolong this because Hangman Page would inevitably have to come out the winner. And then after Page beats Kenny Omega, he's going to be going on to the world title scene, and he's going to beat whoever the world champion this goes. But I can definitely see Hangman and Kenny prolonging the feud for the time being, prolonging the inevitable match for the time being, and then when the time's right, we're going to get the match. Page is going to win, and then we are going to see Page challenge the world champion, whoever that may be. We got MJF versus Shawn Dean, Salt of the Earth, in about 5 seconds for the win. Simple as that. Wardlow then gave MJF a mic, and he said that he is an honest man, unlike Dictator John, who cheated. So he said that you will refer to him as the undisputed, uncrowned world champion. Of course, he made Justin Roberts say it because MJF is a dick. And he said that apparently you got to be a part of a stable to have any sort of pull around here. He said maybe it's time for this lone wolf to join a pack. And then he did the ow, 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 like a wolf, obviously, because MJF, he can do whatever he wants. Whatever MJF does is fucking gold. So he says that no matter what happens, he is still better than you, and you know it. So that was that. We had Eddie Kingston and his posse in the ring. And he said, of course, he said that he was never eliminated. So I assume that we're probably going to get Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston at some point. He says that they are part of a family and they are masters of destruction. He said, find some victims. So they pulled some random bums, did the Butcher and the Blade. They pulled some random bums out of the crowd and they destroyed them. Then he said to the Blade, now it's time to set your house in order. So I'm actually very interested to see where this goes. I'm not really sure where it's going. I'm not really sure what they plan on doing with this posse that Eddie Kingston is currently managing. I mean, I'm interested. We'll find out where it goes, but I really don't see it blowing up. I mean, I do see Eddie Kingston obviously facing off against Lance Archer. My favorite part of this promo was when Ray Phoenix and ha ha ha, that's in your face. What's up, Kick Out? Please hit the like button. So then we had Private Party versus Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. This was a very good tag team match right here. We had double suicide dives by Pryor and Jericho. Isaiah Cassidy, he got the tag. And he picked up the pace. We had a close 2 count on Jericho. Jake Hager used, I believe he got a pop-up. No, that was later on in the match. We had Jake Hager throwing Cassidy over the top rope. I'm sorry. Jake Hager threw Cassidy over the top rope, and then we had a silly string DDT connecting on Hager. So that was a desperation silly string DDT. Quinn then got the tag. We had a big tope con hero on Hager. Big crossbody by Quinn for a 2. We had a double stomp neck breaker combo on Jericho for a 2. Big pop-up by Hager. So Hager, he popped up Isaiah Cassidy, I believe it was. He popped up Isaiah Cassidy, I believe it was, over his shoulder. Jericho was sitting on the top rope, and we had a pop-up over Hager, and Cassidy hit a Hurricane Rana on Jericho. One fluid motion. Looked great. So that got a close 2. We had a big stunner by Cassidy. He was obviously selling his back. He missed the senton, and then Jericho hit the Judas effect for the win. This was a very good match, and then Jericho put Cassidy in the walls, and then afterwards, Isaiah Cassidy was saved by Mark Quinn. So this is a very good tag team match. Jericho and Hager, they are climbing the ranks in the tag team division, and if I'm going to be quite honest with you, I really wouldn't mind if Jericho and Hager get the tag team title shot against FTR at the anniversary show. Because if you think about it, it really does play into Jericho's position, because Jericho is currently in a position where he's putting people over. So if Jericho and Hager get the tag team title shot, can you imagine what it would do for FTR? I mean, FTR is already great. They beat Hangman and Kenny. So that legitimacy from Hangman and Kenny already transferred to FTR. But can you imagine what it's going to do for FTR if their first title defense successfully is against Chris Jericho and they pin Chris Jericho? FTR is going to look like the most legitimate tag team in the fucking world. If they beat Kenny, they already beat Kenny and Hangman. So if they beat Jericho and Hager now, it's going to make them look 1,000 times better. So I really wouldn't mind if Jericho and Hager get the tag team title shot. Next week, we have Team Mox versus Team Archer, obviously setting up for the World Championship match. We had Thunder Rosa versus Ivelisse, La Sicaria Ivelisse. Apparently, Ivelisse is having some attitude problems as she was no-selling some of Thunder Rosa's offense. So this was for the NWA Women's World Championship. This was actually a very good match right here. We had Ivelisse with a Hurricane Rana takedown. She regained control quickly. Running boot for a 2. We had a Shining Wizard by Ivelisse for a 2. Rosa came back with a running drop kick against the ropes. I love Rosa's drop kick. Ivelisse on the receiving end of a Death Valley driver. We had a parallel roll-through PK by Ivelisse for a 2 count, and then Rosa eventually won with a tombstone pile driver. This is a very, very good women's championship match. Very, 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 very hard-hitting. Ivelisse, she's great. I hope that she gets her attitude problems in check, because I really do want to see her as a permanent member of the AEW women's roster, considering that she did win the Deadly Draw tournament with Diamante. Diamante's great. I do hope that Ivelisse gets to where she needs to be. And Thunder Rosa is one of the best women's wrestlers in the United States right now. Hands down. Hands down. So afterwards, Ivelisse and Diamante attacked Rosa, but Shida then came out of the crowd, and Shida attacked both women, and then she gave Rosa the NWA Women's World Championship. So could we be looking at Shida versus Rosa for the NWA Women's World Championship on the anniversary show? I don't know. For the AEW Women's World Championship at the anniversary show, it's a toss-up. We'll find out what happens. We had Lance Archer coming out. He pulled out Fuego del Sol from the crowd, and he just beat the shit out of him. He chokeslammed him. Again, my favorite thing about Lance Archer, just pulling out random bums from the crowd and just beating the shit out of them. It's great. So we had Jake Roberts taking the mic. Sometimes you need money or a way out. He says that they need tag team partners. So if I'm going to be in bed with the devil, I may as well be in bed with the Tasmanian devil. So he invited Taz out to the ring. So Taz says that Team Taz is happy to do business with them. And he says that when Lance Archer wins the World Championship and absolutely fucking destroys Moxley, that Brian Cage would get the first shot at Archer. So Lance said he doesn't care about Eddie Kingston's crying. And he says that Moxley will go down at the hands of the Murdoch Monster, blah, blah, blah. Moxley then came out through the crowd, but he was attacked by Team Taz, Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. We then had Will Hobbs coming out with a steel chair, and I actually like Will Hobbs. So he introduced Will Hobbs, and he called out Darby Allin as his second tag team partner. We have Brody Lee and Orange Cassidy next week for the TNT Championship. Now that I can get behind. What a concept. A challenger that makes sense. A challenger for a world championship that fucking makes sense. How about that? Orange Cassidy beat Chris Jericho twice. He's on a 3-match winning streak. What a concept. Orange Cassidy is legitimate. Now he's challenging Brody Lee. We have Shida and Rosa versus Ivelisse and Diamante. Chris Jericho will be live on Dynamite next week. And then in the main event, we had Proud and Powerful versus the Best Friends in a parking lot brawl. This was fucking excellent. If you guys have not watched this, I highly recommend you watching this match. This was fucking excellent in every sense of the word. Chuck Taylor and Trent, they put Ortiz underneath the hood of a car, and they did swanton bombs onto the hood, which looked brutal. We had Santana catapulting Trent into the bottom of a truck, which looked great. So then we had a suplex by Ortiz to Chuck Taylor on the car. We had a splash by Santana for a 2. Spear by Trent to Ortiz through a motherfucking door. They brought out some door. They propped it up against the car, and Trent speared Ortiz through it. Santana then got suplexed onto a chair. Chuck Taylor then brought in a fucking guardrail, like one of those old school guardrails, and Ortiz got suplexed on it, and it bent in half. Looked fucking brutal there. So then we had Santana and Ortiz. They did a double powerbomb to Trent on the windshield of a car, and there was glass all over Trent's back. So he's definitely going to be feeling that in the morning. I hope that he's getting that taken out of his body. So we had Chuck then back body dropping, or no, Chuck got back body drop, sorry. Santana then back body dropped Chuck onto some trash cans, and Santana then brought in a lead pipe. He was going to use the lead pipe, but Orange Cassidy came out of the fucking trunk with a chain wrapped around his fist. And he did the orange punch with the chain wrapped around his fist. Looked great. So then after that, we had a pile driver on the car to Santana, and then Trent with the Dude Buster, or the Crunchy, through the wooden pallet on Ortiz, and the Best Friends win. An excellent fucking street fight. Please go back and watch it if you haven't watched it. And then afterwards, Sue, in the van, in her minivan, she came out, and she gave the middle finger out the window to end the night. Sue's more over than 95% of the WWE roster. Excellent, excellent, excellent Dynamite. Love what they're doing right now. They bounced back strong from the lackluster all-out pay-per-view. Very much looking forward to what they do as far as the build towards Full Gear goes. The anniversary show's looking great. Can't wait to see that. Let me check the chat before we get into NXT. We got 3 more shows to review here. Let me check the chat before we get into NXT. So, Wesley thinks that Omega is going to be the next AEW World Champion, and he'll feud with Paige. Now, that is an interesting concept, so we'll see what happens there. Earl Cole says, breaking news from Sportskeeda, AEW World Champion Jon Moxley is set to debut in yet another promotion, in-ring competition, a year after it was first advertised. Moxley will make his in-ring debut. Interesting to see what that is, Earl. Wesley says MJF is definitely a dick. Yes, he is. Wesley says that Roddy Piper is the best comparison. He's implying that Roddy Piper is the best comparison to MJF. I certainly don't disagree. The women's division, yes, is slowly improving. The women's division, yes, is slowly improving. You are correct. What else we got? What else we got? We do have Jessica saying that AEW is doing it right. You're damn right they are. You're damn right they are. So, let's promote this a little bit more. Let's promote this a little bit more before I what do we got over here? Here we go. Let me just send out a few more there you go. I'm just gonna promote it just a little bit more. Come on, what the fuck? We got over here. Okay. I don't know why. It's not promoting correctly. Well, yeah, because like I'm limited. Give me 1 second. Give me just 1 sec, people. And 1 second. There we go. Now I can promote it correctly. There we go. There we go. Now I can promote it correctly. Gotta promote it correctly, people. Gotta promote it correctly. There we go. James Harmon. Live on YouTube. Come check me out. Why didn't they come and check me out? I'm serious. Serious. Like, why do I only have 21 likes? I should have 30 likes. Come on. Should have 30 likes. People. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, people. NXT. We got a lot to talk about here for NXT. Decent show. Decent show. Nothing too crazy here. We had MJF. Not MJF. Well, I don't know why I said MJF. We had Shotzi Blackheart and Io Shirai kicking off the show. So Shotzi Blackheart and Io Shirai, they kicked off the show. This is actually a very good women's match to kick off the show. We had a beautiful springboard moonsault by Shirai to the outside. So Blackheart, she was taken out momentarily. Blackheart came back with a reverse sling blade and some stiff chops. We had a nice enziguri by Shotzi Blackheart. We had a reverse sling blade, not a reverse sling blade, a reverse cannonball against the ropes, big dragon suplex for a 2, cattle mutilation by Shotzi, but Io, she got out of it. We had a nice flapjack and a tiger feint kick, big missile drop kick for a 2. We had a Shotzi cutting off Io on the top. Have a good one, Earl. Shotzi cut off Io on the top. And then we had Shotzi doing a beautiful Hurricane Rana off the top for a very close 2 count right there. We then had Shotzi getting German suplexed on the apron, right on her neck, and then Shirai with the double knees, and then she went for the over the moonsault, but she did not connect. It was a botched ending. She didn't really connect with it. She only caught her knees into the gut of Shirai. It looked brutal, but it was clearly a botch. So that happened, and that was a very good women's match outside of that one botch, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much that. Now, I don't know what they're doing with the women's division because we got a battle royal next week. They announced the takeover. They announced the takeover in October, literally like 3 weeks before the actual show. Why is it only 3 weeks before the actual show? The next takeover should have been announced immediately after Takeover 30 was over. It's the only thing that makes sense. Why do we have this battle royal? Why do we have this battle royal when realistically, Rhea Ripley's the next challenger? Rhea Ripley is the next challenger. She beat Mercedes Martinez in a steel cage match. Now, I understand that Rhea Ripley's had a shit year, but realistically speaking, it's the best possible route to go. Why are you going to waste the battle royal when we already know that Rhea Ripley is more than likely than not the next challenger because she's all that Io Shirai has left to face before Io eventually drops the title? Want me to say that? Makes no sense. We had Desmond Troy versus Tommaso Ciampa. Willow's bell for the win. Simple, short, sweet, to the point. And then Jake Atlas came out and he says that he's not a coward. He knows how dangerous Ciampa can be, and next week he's going to show Ciampa how dangerous he can be. You're damn right, man. You're damn right. So Finn Balor was interviewed, and he talked about his match last week. He says that there is only one prince. He says that this brand needs him, and now it's time for people to look both ways before you cross the prince. So that was that. Finn Balor obviously is going into the next takeover with a good challenger, I hope. Probably Johnny Gargano, because he's the only logical one that I think is going to win this gauntlet eliminator next week, even though it's not really a new concept angle with eliminations. I really don't understand why you have a gauntlet eliminator. Why did you have to waste 2 NXT championship matches on free television just to fucking spike up a rating? Come on. And yet you wonder why people are saying that the old NXT's dead. Fucking idiots. So Austin Theory came out. And he said last week was a fluke, and he challenged anyone that wanted to step up to him. Kushida obviously came out, and he dropped Theory with a kick. The match started. Theory ended up punching the post accidentally. Kushida took advantage and locked in the hoverboard lock for the win. Kushida obviously displaying more aggression, and I can definitely see Kushida going over in this current feud with Velveteen Dream. We had Breezango versus Imperium. This was an awesome tag team match right here. We had Imperium going right after Breeze as soon as the match started. Eichner then isolated Fandango. We had receiving end of a lot of offense, and we then had Breeze getting the hot tag. Breeze came in like a house of fire. We had Eichner with a rolling senton. He tried to go for the moonsault, but he got caught, and he ended up on the receiving end of a super kick. That got a close to count as Bartel broke it up. We had a deadlift brainbuster by Fabian Eichner on Breeze, but Fandango broke up that pinfall. Super kick to Bartel and Eichner. PK and a German suplex combo for a very close near fall on Fandango. We had a tornado DDT on Eichner. Bartel and Eichner went for the European bomb, but Fandango jumped in and Breeze rolled up Eichner for the win. And it was no fluke. Breezango retains the tag team championships in an awesome tag team match. Probably the best match that these two teams have had together. Very much looking forward to what Breezango do in their reign, even though the tag team division is a complete fucking mess as we speak. We had Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro versus Xia Li and Jesse Kamea. Now, Casey, I do know Casey Catanzaro's sister. I'm not sure if she's still watching me, but I do know Casey Catanzaro's sister. Casey Catanzaro, I believe she's single right now. Hit me up, Casey. Come on. Hit me up. Come on, Casey. Come on. Come on. So, listen, I love Casey Catanzaro. She's one of my dream girls, but I really didn't care about this match. She is still watching. Really, is she? I had no idea. How do you know? How do you know, Jess? But I love Casey. Not sure if her sister's still watching, but I really didn't care about this. I really didn't care about this match. There was some nice double team offense between Casey and Kayden Carter. I'm assuming that the only reason why they're building up this match is because they need tag teams in the women's division, because who the fuck are Liv Morgan? Oh my god. You kidding me right now? Big Boy Johnny's here. Are you kidding me right now? I didn't even know this entire time. Holy shit. I didn't even fucking know. My god, I must have really been out of the loop. I am so sorry. I didn't even know. Oh my god. Ladies and gents, I'm like starstruck now. I don't even know. I can't, you know, I can't believe, like, as a common 21-year-old kid from Jersey, I still can't wrap my head around how you stuck by me for like these last 3 years. Like, it really does mean a lot to me. Like, legit. This is like right off the top of my head right now. I didn't even plan this. I am legitimately like insanely grateful that you've been able to stick by me for so long. It really does mean a lot to me. It really does. But moving on to the match that we got here, we had a nice pinning combination roll-up for the win here. I'm assuming that Kayden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, they're going to be positioned in the women's tag team division, possibly to face off against Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, which I do believe that they will win the tag team titles. Then we had Xia Li walking off. They tried to show sportsmanship, and Xia Li just walked off. I'm not really sure where this is headed, but if there's one thing that I do want to see, I do definitely want to see Casey Catanzaro and Kayden Carter as women's tag team champions, if they're not going to get rid of the titles, even though they should. But I actually like what they have to offer in the tag team division, I'm not going to lie. Kayden Carter's actually very underrated. Casey Catanzaro, I've loved Casey Catanzaro ever since I saw her in the Mae Young Classic, so. Moving on from that, we had Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dane, or what was supposed to be Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Now, I really don't know what they're fucking doing here. I did not ask for this Team Hell No ripoff angle between Drake Maverick and Killian Dane in NXT. Matter of fact, this was a complete fucking waste of time. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing with the Undisputed Era. I'm not sure when they're getting called up. I'm not even sure if they're getting called up. I'm not sure if Adam Cole's leaving. Because again, Adam Cole, the rumor going around is someone may not be resigning. It could be Adam Cole. He was the talk of the summer. But this match was a complete waste of time. Killian Dane said he wasn't going out there. It was essentially a handicap match. Maverick attempted a comeback, but he was cut down by Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. Dane was watching in the back, and Regal went up to Dane and said, "Are you just going to let that happen to your tag team partner?" Trying to create sympathy for Drake Maverick, blah, blah, blah. Dane then came out and said, "Look, if you're going to lose like a man. There, I helped you." So Roderick then called Killian Dane a fat dork. Dane ended up getting involved. He got hit with a chair by Fish, and then Maverick helped Dane, and UE retreated. So I don't know what the fuck the Undisputed Era are doing right now. This is absolutely fucking horrendous. I don't want this to continue any further. I hope they kill this angle. Dane then punched Maverick down, and that was pretty much it. We had Kyle O'Reilly in the back after this, and he actually stopped Ciampa from beating down Jake Atlas in the parking lot, so I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I really don't. I don't know what the fuck's that. That was pretty much that. The Gauntlet Eliminator match was announced for next week, and the winner faces Balor at TakeOver, so Kushida has already been announced. I don't know what's going on with the other 4 participants, but like I've said before, this is pretty much just a championship scramble with eliminations. I really don't understand why you had to waste 2 NXT championship matches away on free television. That was pretty much that, and I can only hope that this is going to be decent, but in no way, shape, or form is this reminiscent of the old NXT. Plain and simple. So, then we had Damian Priest and Timothy Thatcher for the NXT North American Championship. Now, this was very, very good. Now, Timothy Thatcher, all in all, Timothy Thatcher's fucking boring. He's really fucking boring. I really don't know that people really seeing him. It's really not anything that I'm going to invest my time in. I can only hope that they find something for Timothy Thatcher that's actually meaningful. But I really don't see him factoring into anything major because he's really not all that special. He does too many locks. Wrist lock, arm lock, leg lock, ankle lock. Too many locks that Timothy Thatcher has. But it was a very good match. This made for a fun match. The styles that Damian Priest and Timothy Thatcher had actually made for a very entertaining matchup. We had Timothy Thatcher with a nice suplex on the floor. He took over. Timothy Thatcher, he wore down Priest. Priest was actually woken up after a couple of slaps from Timothy Thatcher. We had the broken arrow for 2. Swift kick to Timothy Thatcher. Thatcher tried for the armbar, but Priest fought back. Thatcher then tried for a half crab. He got it locked in, but Priest was able to get to the ropes, but then he transitioned into an armbar. Priest ended up fighting out of it with the diving, spinning heel kick, which looked great. And we had the Reckoning for the win, and Damian Priest retains the NXT North American Championship in a very, very, very good match, and that was pretty much it. Outside of the 2 championship matches and Blackheart and Io, this really wasn't all that special of an episode of NXT. I really didn't care for it, but it was decent for what it was. But they really need something to wake them up. Because NXT, they're just focused on counter-programming All Elite Wrestling. And I really don't see a reason to, because you're not going to beat All Elite Wrestling. You're really not. So, at this rate, you should move it to Tuesday and focus on yourself. That way, it will be better for both shows. Enough of this monopolization mentality that Vince McMahon has. Just let him succeed. It's not really that big a deal. They're not going to put you out of fucking business. Take NXT off of USA Network and put it back on the WWE Network, or move it to Tuesdays. It'll be better for both brands. Thank you, Jess. Jess, I actually hope that you and your family have been staying safe during these times. I hope everything's well. I haven't seen you at the supermarket that I work at. I've actually been working produce as of lately. Maybe I'll get back on the register just for you, because I actually miss seeing you. Definitely win. They are too stubborn to move it. It ain't happening. Vince would not allow it to happen, because Vince and Timmy Turner, all grown up, Kevin Dunn, he ain't gonna do it. That buck-toothed loser ain't gonna do it. All he's missing is the pink hat and the pink shirts. And boom, Timmy Turner. Cosmo Wanda, I wish I had bigger teeth. Anyway, NXT UK. Now, this was the return of NXT UK right here. This was actually a very good show. I am loving what NXT UK is doing right now. I'm glad that they found a spot to record their shows and record their tapings. Very, very happy that NXT UK is back. I fucking love NXT UK, and it really does suck that a pandemic really halted their momentum, but I'm very glad that NXT UK is back. So Sid Scala kicked off the show. Ilya Dragunov came out, who I'm a huge fan of. Fucking love Ilya Dragunov. So he said that he's been waiting for 6 months, and he's waited too long for a battle. So Noam Dar, Supernova 11, interrupted, and he says that you gotta get some anger management, you dafty. I know, I'm terrible at doing Noam Dar's accent. So Ilya Dragunov says, fuck this, and he dove through the ropes onto Dar. Officials tried to separate him, and Scala made Dar versus Dragunov the main event for tonight, which I was actually very much looking forward to. It was actually a great fucking match. But before that, we actually got Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams versus Gallus. Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, they still are the tag team champions, and it kind of sucks that, it really does kind of suck that a pandemic really halted their momentum. Yeah, they're the longest reign because of the pandemic that happened. But this was a very good tag team match right here. We had Amir Jordan getting isolated by Gallus. They kept the pressure on him. Williams ended up coming in. He used his quickness against Wolfgang. We had a big springboard drop kick and a drop kick to Coffey. We had a big back suplex by Wolfgang. He countered the wheelbarrow facebuster by Kenny Williams. We then had a sling blade by Williams, and then the wheelbarrow facebuster tagged to Amir Jordan. Big senton off the top to by Amir Jordan rather, to Wolfgang, but Mark Coffey ended up breaking that up. Gallus with the Enziguri power slam combo for the win, and that was that. Very good tag team match. Gallus looks great. And then every tag team in NXT UK, we had Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. We had Imperium up on the Titantron. We had Pretty Deadly. We had Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. All these tag teams started coming out, and it really made the titles feel important. And that's what I love. I would actually go so far as to say that the NXT UK tag team division is actually better than the NXT tag team division, and that's saying something. You take a look at the NXT UK tag team division. They got Imperium, they got Gallus, they got Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. They got Pretty Deadly, they got Andrews and Webster. They got the Grizzled Young Veterans. They got Mustache Mountain. So a lot of good tag teams in that division. Meanwhile, the NXT tag team division, it feels like they've been lacking ever since the move to USA. And I feel as though that is a main roster influence that Vince McMahon has taken upon himself to force upon NXT, which kind of sucks. So that was a very good tag team match. Then we had Saxon Huxley cutting a promo, and he sounded like he was ready to break out, but unfortunately, Saxon Huxley, Jesus reincarnated, ain't breaking out. He's actually going to get destroyed by Walter next week. Just pointing that out there. So, Kaylee Raven came out and she said, finally, your longest reigning NXT Women's Champion, or NXT UK Women's Champion, will be defending her title next week. And now her and Piper Niven get to fight, and she'll prove why she's better. Niven then came out, and this is what I liked about this promo. Niven said, why don't you tell everyone the truth? Why don't you tell everyone how many times I beat you in Japan and in the UK? Kaylee Ray said, you can believe whatever you want, but you have not faced this Kaylee Ray. And next week, she'll prove why she's better. So she tried for a cheap shot, but Piper Niven blocked it, and Kaylee Ray retreated. So I'm actually very much looking forward to that match, but I really do not see Kaylee Ray coming out a loser. I really don't. Kaylee Ray's not losing that title. The pandemic really halted her momentum. Well, actually, two things halted her momentum. Number one, the fact that in between October and December, NXT UK was put on the back burner because Triple H had to focus on the Wednesday Night Wars and this fictional war between AEW and NXT. So she didn't really... And then when they actually started booking her correctly, then we had Piper Niven getting involved, and she, more likely than not, was going to get the women's title opportunity at NXT TakeOver in Dublin But that didn't happen because of the pandemic. So Dublin, that's going to happen in October. And based off of everything, I can see Piper Niven losing here. I feel as though she's a victim of wrong place, wrong time. Piper Niven's going to lose. And Eva Valkyrie, she's going to get the women's title opportunity against Kaylee Ray because it's in her hometown of Dublin. And Eva Valkyrie was actually in action. So Piper Niven is getting the women's title opportunity next week. We have Isla Dawn versus Eva Valkyrie here. Valkyrie, she wins here. Eva Valkyrie, I'm very glad that Eva Valkyrie is getting this opportunity. Very happy to see Eva Valkyrie back in action. Eva Valkyrie is one of my favorites in the NXT UK Women's Division. The NXT UK Women's Division is actually a very good women's division when you think about it. I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing what Eva Valkyrie does as far as the women's division goes. So next week we do have Niven and Ray for the women's title, and we also got a Heritage Cup drawing with special guest Pete Dunne. So is Pete Dunne going to be the final participant in the Heritage Cup? We will find out. So then we had Noam Dar versus Ilya Dragunov. This was a great fucking match. If you wanted to go rewatch this, I would highly recommend it. The only criticism that I have of NXT UK right now operating is the fact that they are not operating with any recruits as the audience members. Because I think we already adapted to NXT having PC recruits as the audience members behind the plexiglass or whatever the hell you want to call it. I think we've adapted to that quite nicely. But as far as NXT UK goes, it really just feels like it's lacking something. I mean, you have the Thunderdome with the main roster, you have the PC recruits with NXT. You need something for NXT UK. You need something for it. But this was a great match. If you wanted to go back and rewatch it, I would highly recommend it. We had Noam Dar focusing on the legs of Ilya Dragunov. He kept throwing Dragunov leg first into the ropes, which actually looked pretty brutal. Dragunov with a beautiful vertical suplex, big knee, and a rebound lariat. He hit the 6-1 line, which is a 619 around the ropes. I actually like that move, the 6-1 line. Dar then came in with a big sliding drop kick and a big shot right to the back of the head. Ilya Dragunov still stayed alive. We get a big backhand and a Gotch-style suplex, but Dragunov did not put Dar away. Alexander Wolf came out to try and run interference, but we had Dragunov reversing a move from Noam Dar, sending Noam Dar into Alexander Wolf, and then he hit Torpedo Moscow. And him and Dragunov had a stare down with Dragunov saying, "Come on, you son of a bitch." So, this was a great match. Very good episode of NXT UK. Glad to see them back. Huge advocate for NXT UK. And I'm very interested to see where they go going into the latter half of 2020. Unfortunately, now we got to talk about SmackDown, and of course, look at this shit. Look at this shit. It's lagging. Shit's lagging over here, and I'm about to talk about SmackDown. Come on. We got about 24 minutes left in the stream. Come on. I'm doing this shit every week. Operate with me here. Operate with me here, WWE Network. Come on. There you go. There we go. Okay. SmackDown. In a world of winners and losers, two men rise above to bring you the Dirt Sheet. Yeah, we had the fucking Dirt Sheet kicking off SmackDown with Miz and Morrison. So they talked about Mandy Rose's SmackDown Live departure. Miz said that he's trying to help Otis by having him focus on the briefcase and not having his girlfriend get involved. So Otis had enough of this shit. Otis then attacked both men. Tucker came out. Tucker helped Otis Vader bomb, and he literally stripped Miz out of his clothes down to his tighty whities. Yes, you heard me correctly. Miz was stripped down to his tighty whities. Pure white pure white underwear. Now is that. The more the weeks go on, the more that I'm asking myself why you gave Otis a briefcase. It's a complete waste of fucking time. What you should have done is you should have given Aleister Black the briefcase, but you fucked that up. Now, Otis is by Miz and Morrison, and now more likely than not, he's going to give up the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't understand. Why did you put the Money in the Bank briefcase on Otis? Why? And on top of that, way to fucking embarrass The Miz. Way to fucking embarrass. The Miz was once a must-see act. I remember his feud with Dolph Ziggler over the Intercontinental Championship, and I'm telling you right now, that feud and those matches were some of the best matches of 2016. I'm thinking to myself, where the fuck did that Miz go? Why is he here? Why is he here getting stripped down to his tiny whities by Otis? Fucking work! My God. Work! I know, SmackDown sucks. SmackDown sucks. I know you don't want to work for SmackDown, but I got a show to do right here. I need some entertainment in the background when I'm talking about a shitty SmackDown. Come on. How much left? Come on. There's only 42 minutes left in this fucking... Oh, great. Now I just pressed... Look at this. Yeah, SmackDown rant. Right. What? Come on. Resume. Resume. I need some entertainment when I'm talking about a shitty show here, WWE Network. Miz getting stripped down to his tidy whities. Why the fuck did you give the briefcase? I don't even know. I really don't even fucking know. And just wait till I talk about Lacey Evans later. Just wait. We had Grand Metalik versus Cesaro. I'm not gonna lie. This wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a bad match at all. Kalisto and Dorado, they were actually kicked out. They got up on the apron and the ref kicked them out. Metalik actually hit a huge, beautiful tope over the top rope going into commercial. We had a huge Hurricane Rana off the middle rope. Cesaro and Metalik, they actually work very, very well together. I'm not going to lie. They work very well together. We then had Cesaro coming back with a big uppercut and the neutralizer for the win. Decent match. I'm not going to lie, decent match. But at the end of the day, think about how great the Lucha House Party and Cesaro and Nakamura are. Think about how great they are in the ring. You realize that Kalisto was putting on match of the year candidates with fucking Buddy Murphy in 2018 on 205 Live. Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and they were putting on match of the year tag team candidates with Hideo Itami and Akira Tozawa, and then Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy. They're great fucking wrestlers. Cesaro, don't even get me started on Cesaro. Cesaro is one of the most underrated competitors on the roster. Nakamura, we know how great Nakamura is. Think about how great these guys are. They could give us a match of the fucking year candidate if they are given the proper amount of time, but they won't. And I'll tell you why. It's because of the lack of focus on tag team wrestling has literally killed all excitement surrounding any tag team title feud. And it sucks. It sucks. It's legitimately disgusting. It's legitimately disgusting. Moment of bliss. Moment of bliss. Moment of wish I was a part of the eye for an eye match so Rollins could extract my eyes so I wouldn't have to watch this shit. Moment of piss with Nikki Cross. Well, actually, before that, Matt Riddle was teaching us the lessons of bro. He's talking about how bro is a universal language, and he started saying bro with all of these emotional implications. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the best that you have from Matt Riddle? Why is Jeff Hardy the Intercontinental Champion? Why didn't Matt Riddle take the Intercontinental title off of AJ Styles? Makes no fucking sense. This is the best that you got from Matt Riddle? Yeah. Bro's a universal language. TikTok before we're saying that Matt Riddle's buried. So, moving on to Moment of Piss. So, Bliss, she introduced Nikki Cross as her guest, and Bliss asked Nikki Cross what the game plan is because Nikki has lost to Bayley for the majority of the summer. So Nikki said that Bayley does not have any help this time. There is no Sasha Banks. So now she can focus solely on Bayley. Bayley says that she's proud of her work, but she promises that she will become the new SmackDown Women's Champion come the pay-per-view. Does that answer your question? So Alexa was then asked by Nikki Cross what's going on, especially after what happened last week, and you hit me with a Sister Abigail of all moves. So Alexa said there's some type of change going on, and I don't really know how to explain it. So then, of course, then I hear Lacey Evans' music come out. It's our traditional, like a lady. Lacey Evans comes out. So she says that you could do all your speeches that you want, but Nikki's too nice, she's too weak, and she has no backbone. She does not have any leaving to her off her game, yada, yada, yada. So Nikki then blew her nose into the hanky of Lacey Evans and just threw it at her, kicked her in the shoulder, and then we got a match, which was terrible. Terrible. I'm not going to lie. Before Lacey Evans came out, I actually didn't mind this segment. I said it once and I'll say it again. The WWE-inspired talk shows, Moment of Bliss, the Kevin Owens Show, Miz TV, the Dirt Sheet, the VIP Lounge, they need to die. They need to end. I'd never want to see it ever again. But I'm not going to lie. I didn't mind this segment. I really didn't mind the segment. I didn't mind the promo work. Alexa Bliss is actually interesting. Surprise, surprise. Alexa Bliss actually is interesting. This is the most interesting that Alexa Bliss has looked since 2017. I remember 2017, excuse me, back when she can actually wrestle. So the match itself was garbage. The only thing that I remember was the fact that Lacey Evans took a bottle of hand sanitizer and squeezed it into Nikki Cross's eyes. And I'm wondering, where's the DQ? So the ref just let it happen. The only good part about this match was the nice transition by Cross where we had a tornado DDT. She kept the grip, and then she hit a swinging neck breaker off the ropes, and that was pretty much it. So we had to sit through 8 minutes of Nikki Cross and Lacey Evans. I actually didn't mind the segment, and then Lacey Evans came out. You know, Lacey Evans. You know, Lacey Evans. That Lacey Evans. So Lacey then looked at. She looked at Alexa Bliss, and she said, what are you going to do? You going to call the Fiend? And Alexa Bliss just started to look up into the heavens. She started to look around, like this 1,000-yard stare. She got up, and she hit a Sister Abigail, which actually looked pretty beautiful. A beautiful Sister Abigail on Lacey Evans, and then she just walked off looking around like she was in some sort of trance. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a rather interesting storyline. Imagine that. I'm saying that Alexa Bliss is one of the best parts about SmackDown. That just goes to show you how bad SmackDown really is. Being interviewed, she was in a neck brace, so they're actually doing this correctly. She was in a neck brace. Good. She was in a neck brace, and she was in the back of the PC. She was being interviewed in the PC, and she said, "I'm still here, aren't I?" She talked about how Bayley said that she was useless to her. She talked about the PC and where she was being interviewed and how they showed up to show the world that they were taking over the whole damn company, and they built the place on their backs. These walls could talk. If these walls could talk, they would be saying the same thing that Sasha and Bayley are saying. She said that she knows that Bayley's watching, and she's nothing to her. She's nothing without her. And she says that one day she's going to be back, and one day she's going to take the one thing that means the most to Bayley, and that is the SmackDown Women's Championship. So Bayley then attacked Sasha from behind with a chair before the security came out to fend off Bayley, and that was pretty much that. We do not know the extent of the injuries, but so far, they are doing this feud between Sasha and Bayley. They're doing it correctly, and I want to give them props. Now your job is to keep Sasha off of television. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that WWE has a pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, coming up. I understand that Bayley and Sasha inside Hell in a Cell, that may be the only match that belongs inside Hell in a Cell. Trust me, I get that. But what would you rather do? Would you rather have Bayley and Sasha only build towards the match, remain silent? Would you rather have Sasha remain silent? She doesn't show face. She doesn't talk. She does not utter a word. And Bayley, for the next 4 months, is just shoving it in everyone's face. I beat Sasha. I took out Sasha. I'm still the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. No one can touch me. Sasha's nothing without me. And would you rather have Sasha off of television and then Sasha Banks returns at the Royal Rumble, enters the Rumble at number 30, a la John Cena from 2008, wins the Rumble, goes on to face Bayley at WrestleMania, and wins the SmackDown Live Women's title? Sound off in the chat. Which idea is better, Hell in a Cell or Royal Rumble in WrestleMania? Tell me. But the entire segment was excellent. It was real, it was genuine, and it is really going to get Sasha over as a babyface. Bayley is doing some great shit as a heel. We had AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Styles went right after Zayn was trying to talk to the ref, saying that oh no, I'm the real Intercontinental Champion. So Styles went right after Zayn. Styles with a forearm to Zayn going into commercial. AJ with a swift neck breaker to Zayn for a 2. We had a big Pele kick. Sami Zayn with a beautiful Blue Thunderbomb. I fucking love the Blue Thunder. The Blue Thunderbomb's fucking awesome. One of my favorite moves in all of WWE. I love the Blue Thunderbomb. Zayn, he hit Styles with a big exploder suplex into the corner. And then he went for the haluva kick, but Zayn got rolled up. Zayn reversed. Styles then rolled up Sami Zayn with the hook of the tights out of the referee's line of sight, and AJ Styles wins. Fairly good match here, I'm not going to lie. Probably the best match of the night. And Zayn then attacked Styles after the match before Jeff Hardy came out. He darted towards Styles, took out Styles. Then he took out Sami Zayn. He was going for a table, and then he brought out a ladder. And then he hit the ladder. He used the ladder to hit Sami Zayn and AJ Styles. No worries, Danielle. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, time out here before I continue. Danielle's mother is currently in the hospital right now. She's being tested for lung cancer. So if you can, please send your thoughts and prayers to Danielle. Please send your thoughts and prayers to her mom. I really do hope that she gets better. So please send your thoughts and prayers to her and her mother. Cancer is unacceptable. We need a cure, and we need it now. So, Jeff Hardy used a ladder to take out Zayn, and he took out Styles. Then he set up a ladder in the ring, and he took a microphone and he said, "I'm sick of being called a fraud. I'm sick of being called a cheat. Let's end this once and for all. Please, I want to make this match official. I challenge both of you to a triple threat ladder match at Clash of Champions," which I am very much looking forward to. I think that this is going to be the match of the night. Thank you for the thoughts and prayers being sent to Danielle. So, afterwards, Otis was in the back and he found out that he was being sued by Miz and Morrison for Money in the Bank negligence. No. WWE should be sued for creativity negligence. So, Sheamus was in the back. He was talking to a security guard, and the security guard said, "Hey, wait, come here. I think your truck's being towed." And then he walked into the parking lot to find Big E. Yes, Big E is back. Big E is back. Big E attacked Sheamus, and then he started attacking the security guard who set Big E up. And he's trash-talking him. He's like, "I don't even know your name. I'm just going to call you Larry. Come on, Larry. We're not done yet." So then he belly-to-belly suplexed him on the car. And then we had Big E saying, no, you shouldn't be sleeping on the job. We ain't done yet. And then he threw him in the trunk. And then he was shouting, "I'm still not finished with you, Shamey." So Big E's back, and here's what I want to know. Where the fuck was this Big E for the last 2 months? Why is it that we were getting hip gyration Big E and licking of the lips Big E and skip clapping Big E? Where the fuck was this Big E for the last 2 months? This is what I'm talking about. This Big E, he is intense, he is focused, he's serious, he's determined, but he keeps that same entertaining aspect, and he's energetic. This is the Big E that we need, because he was entertaining. He was entertaining, but he was still serious and focused. Big E doesn't need to gyrate his hips and skip clap and lick his lips. He doesn't need the New Day antics in order to be entertaining. The New Day antics is part of the reason why Kofi Kingston's WWE Championship reign sucked. So, at the end of the day, if Big E is going to be taken as a serious threat, this is the Big E that we need. Why weren't we getting this Big E for the last 2 months? The only New Day aspect that Big E had here was he was wearing a New Day t-shirt. I'd like to hope that they invest in a Big E singles run, but I don't see it happening simply because of the fact that they're just waiting for Kofi to be done with his family vacation, and then they're going to reunite the New Day, and the New Day are going to win the titles back from Cesaro and Nakamura. If they don't, I'd be surprised. So then we got Roman and Jey Uso versus Sheamus and King Corbin. Jamie and Burger King Corbin with a side of chicken McNuggets, or whatever. Those are from fucking McDonald's. I don't fucking care. But Roman came out with Heyman, and he took the microphone. He said, "This is his guard, his island, his ring, and his WWE, and if you want it, come and take it." So we had this Samoan street fight. Very, very basic street fight, nothing too crazy. We had Roman on the receiving end of an attack by Sheamus. Well, before that, Corbin actually hit a deep six on Jey Uso on the outside, which looked beautiful. So Roman and Sheamus, they were on the table. Roman hit a low blow and then a Samoan drop on the table. We then had a double powerbomb by Shamey and Burger King through a table. Jey Uso kicked out by Roman Reigns through the barricade. Corbin was then hit with the Universal title. Now this was probably one of my favorite parts of the entire show. Jey Uso hit Corbin with the Universal title. He touched the Universal title. And after that, we had Roman Reigns hitting the spear. And then we had a splash immediately by Uso. And Uso and Roman get the win. So after that, Jey Uso picked up the Universal title. And Roman's looking at him with this what the fuck look. And Jey Uso's teasing Roman with it. He's looking like he's going to hold it up, like he's going to win Clash Champions. And then he just threw it at Roman in a very joking manner. And then obviously Roman then smiled and laughed. And they embraced like, oh yeah, it's all fun and games. They embraced. They had a long hug. And they were having fun. They were having fun with each other. And then Jey Uso, he then walked out of the ring. Roman was still smiling when Jey Uso was looking at him. And then Jey Uso turned his back. And he started dancing up the ramp. And you see Roman Reigns with this maniacal look, this menacing look on his face, like he's about to charge up the ramp and literally rip Jey Uso's head off. So this is all playing into the story. This is playing into the story of how Roman Reigns is stringing Jey Uso along. He's baiting him into a false sense of confidence. And he's going to fight Jey Uso at the pay-per-view in a competitive match, and he's going to win in a competitive match. But at the end of it all, Roman Reigns is going to embrace Jey Uso, and then he's going to beat the shit out of him. That's what this is leading towards. This is leading towards Roman Reigns beating Jey Uso at Clash Champions in a competitive match, and then afterwards they're going to shake hands like brothers, and then Roman Reigns is going to legitimately just beat the shit out of Jey Uso. He's going to beat the shit out of him. And that's it. This was an excellent touch, and this was very, very, very well done. And I have no issue. I have no issue with this whatsoever. I thought this was brilliant. This was a brilliant way to end the show. So after that, that was the last thing that we saw. And that was the last image that we had for SmackDown leading into the Clash of Champions pay-per-view. Ladies and gents, oh my God. I feel like I've been doing this for fucking 2 days, not even 2 hours. That is the rundown. Not the rundown. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You see, when I talk about SmackDown, I get so fucking pissed off, I don't even know what video I'm doing. The Lightning Flash update, excuse me. That's been the Lightning Flash update. I want to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Check out all the links in the description. I will post them after the stream is over, and I will edit. I will make sure everything is nice and tidy. Thank you for sticking with me. You guys are awesome. A couple of announcements. Next Friday afternoon, I am going to be here for the rundown for the rundown for Clash of Champions with Jay Leto. If you know Jay Leto, he was on the rundown for Backlash. He'll be joining me again for the rundown for Clash of Champions. That's going to be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Friday. And then, of course, we got a live LFU next Saturday as well. And in 2 weeks, on October 1st, me and Mr. Matt Moody, we're going to be recording the rundown for NXT TakeOver on October 4th. So we are going to, we're going to record it on October 1st, and it's going to go up on October 2nd. So watch out for the rundown for NXT TakeOver with me and Mr. Matt Moody on October 2nd. Matt Moody is a loyal member of the DJ Storms posse. Watch out for the rundown for rundown for TakeOver with Matt Moody, rundown for Clash of Champions with Jay Leto. Ladies and gents, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. You enjoy your Saturday. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to eat some lunch. I am starving. So remember this. DJ Storms is the king. DJ Storms knows all. Raw and SmackDown suck. And that's pretty much it. You enjoy the rest of your weekend.